What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Saturday. I wanted to do a very quick video, maybe something a little bit different for you all. I think there are some people out in this space that are still stating that we are going to go lower in price, and that is fine with me. I had stated previously, I don't sell XRP. I don't trade XRP. I buy when I can afford to buy, and only when I can afford to buy, and I look for opportunities. In this video, I'm going to show you what hopefully would be the lowest case price scenarios for XRP and could potentially be absolutely ridiculous buying opportunities if those should happen again in the near future. Again, I do not think that that's going to necessarily happen. I think that we are in a bull run. However, we have been fooled many times before. Obviously, we've been in this market for the past couple of years. First and foremost, I wanted to say if there's any scam ads on this video, please do not participate in those. And I actually received a text message today stating the same thing as what is on my screen right now. It said my first and last name, withdrawal request from new device, IP Russia, Moscow, view, edit, or cancel. And then it gives a link to Ledger. And then it gives my device ID. Do not click on that link, period. Delete that text message. If you want to take it up with the authorities, you can certainly do that as well. There are multiple phishing scams. We all do know that a lot of personal information was compromised via Ledger. However, that does not mean that your crypto is compromised. As long as you are very diligent in checking and making sure that these things are realistic or are real. And any of these emails or any of these text messages that you get on your phone are certainly scams. So do not participate in that. Don't click on that link, period, okay? All right, this was interesting. Before we get into what I think the lowest possible price is for XRP, IMF Conference. I saw this from Bank XRP. Today is also, if you don't follow Bank, make sure that you give him a follow on Twitter. He took a little bit of a break. He's back now. He said this will certainly get the Riddlers talking. It's a picture of a phoenix. This is the IMF conference, remaking the post-COVID world. Now, this is Kristalina Georgieva. She's the managing director at the IMF. And Darren, I'm not going to even pronounce his name, a professor at MIT. Now, this agenda does not necessarily delve into crypto or blockchain, but I'm sure that this talks about the digital economy if you actually pay attention and watch this. I think this is on December. Yeah, this is on the 4th. So next Friday, if you're interested in watching that at all. Now, I saw this yesterday or maybe even the day before. I didn't take a lot of stake into it whatsoever. I think this is more of a business move from Ripple's standpoint. I'm more concerned with XRP, and I don't think this really affects XRP, even though that obviously we know on-demand liquidity is enabled through MoneyGram. Ripple cashed out 1/3 of its stake in MoneyGram. Obviously, the price of MoneyGram has went up. I'm not going to pull that chart up. I don't invest in MoneyGram. I haven't. Not saying that that's a bad move. Obviously, I think that it's probably a really good move to have done so, but I try to stay away from stocks as much as possible right now. I think this is just a pure business move from Ripple, just cashing out a little bit of its stake in MoneyGram and reaping some of those profits. So now, many of you may not have seen this either. This is Ashish Birla, the SVP of product at Ripple, discussing how money should move, the ins and outs of RippleNet, why they are providing lines of credit, DeFi, digital currencies, and more. I wanted to play a quick snippet for you. And obviously, since we're all in the XRP community here, I will share the entire transcript of this video. This podcast was from like November 5th or 6th, I believe. I think it was just released today, though. So I'm going to play this short snippet. And this may even be valuable for individuals that don't exactly know what Ripple is doing, and I may interject after this little brief segment here.
Those kinds of customers and use cases.
Right. And obviously, Swift isn't standing still either. I know that I saw recently that they've got a new initiative designed to speed cross-border payments. I mean, maybe you can tell us why. I mean, if it's just speed, I mean, what's eventually Swift, I imagine, will be able to do real time as well. I mean, why is RippleNet better than Swift? Maybe we can just answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Swift is a consortium. It's not a for-profit company like Ripple is. So, number one, we have, our DNA is innovation and technology. The other thing is that Swift is really just messaging. And if you listen to our customers, the problem they have is partially messaging. And that's where RippleNet got started 5-6 years ago, was just the messaging only problem.
Mm-hmm.
But we then innovated further. We said, okay, now we're linking up all these financial institutions directly without an intermediary in solving the messaging problem. Let's go and solve that liquidity problem. Swift doesn't solve the liquidity problem. You still move money the old way by these, archaic relationships and pre-positioning money around the world. That's where we started adding in the ODL product. It's called on-demand liquidity.
Right.
Leveraging digital assets to move money in real time. And that removes the $1 trillion afloat that's pre-positioned around the world just for cross-border payments. And
all right, now I wanted to interject for 1 second, then I'll get into some of this stuff with XRP price. What he is talking about, what the interviewer is talking about, is GPI and their faster initiatives for cross-border payments through Swift. Now, they are able to instantly settle at this point, even though Swift is just messaging. Their GPI initiative, which is essentially like what Ripple's X-Current initiative was, essentially that pre-validates messages on the front and back end of any transaction, so it removes that friction from a messaging standpoint. Swift didn't even have that in their arsenal until Ripple came up with it. Swift had basically a think tank meeting with Ripple on the sly and stole it, and then utilized it for their GPI initiative. But GPI can instantly settle. However, it's essentially like promissory notes between two institutions. They've got to sign this agreement where they maintain enough liquidity in the other institution's bank or whatever, and that origin bank maintains enough liquidity in my institution or whatever, so that whenever these messages go back and forth through GPI, we can aka instantly settle. But what he's talking about is it still uses the same legacy the same legacy system, and he's talking about Nostro and Vostro accounts, essentially like I hold enough money in your account, you hold enough money in my account. Once the messaging is validated, then we actually have settlement occur. Many people in the world think that when you pay with your debit card or something like that, that is settlement. That is not settlement. Especially when you deal with cross-border transactions. Settlement has a lot of additional legs to that transaction status to occur. Payments, of course, occur almost instantly. So that's why the main populace just doesn't care about any of this. However, when you're dealing with cross-border payments, let's say you're a migrant worker living in the United States trying to send money home, and you don't know how much money is going to make it home or when it's going to make it there, that obviously becomes an issue. When you're dealing in very, very large cross-border payments that are going to need settled for these large organizations, obviously that becomes an issue as well. So, all right, if you want to check this out, I will post the entire transcript on here. All right, now I wanted to get into this a little bit here because, we've talked about this. I've talked about this. Talked that there will certainly be some sort of a correction. We've obviously experienced it over the past couple of days. XRP, I think, was up 15% today. Made it up to like 62 or 63 cents. Now we're sitting right at 60 cents. I don't really care about daily fluctuations and price movements at all. And I am not a technical analyst whatsoever. However, I've been in this space long enough and I've paid attention enough to some technical analysts where it's very easy for me to see worst case scenarios, entry points that could potentially pay off in, huge dividends in the long run. But what I did want to say is this. I have seen a lot of people in the XRP community calling for like a sub 20 cent XRP again. And that is very concerning to me if that happens for a couple of reasons. If you go all the way back to 2017, and there's charts that even go back further than 2017, we have maintained the bottom of this market. This is January 1st, 2017. We were sitting at 0.003 cents, right? This trend line has maintained the entire, basically, I'm sure even, I drew it back from this year. I'm sure if you drew it back further and you actually extrapolated the chart out even further, that there are points to touch on this thing. This is the bottom of XRP price compared to the dollar, not to Bitcoin, but to the dollar, okay? January 1st, 2017, 0.003 cents. The 6th of March, 2017, 0.004 cents. Obviously, we had quite the bull run, a little bit of consolidation here in mid-2017, the peak, very beginning of January 2018, and another massive bear trend plus, some consolidation here, probably which started sometime around January of this year. The consolidation, I would say, began, but the bottom of the bear market actually, well, maybe the consolidation was shorter. Bottom of the bear market was 16th of March, or right around the 10th of March. Now, interestingly enough, right around the 10th of March, look at this trend line that comes all the way from 2017. And you could do this on the daily, which is obviously a zoomed in view. You can do the same thing on the weekly, right? This trend line that we've held, essentially, here's 2014, okay? 2014 wouldn't even have breached that trend line. So I think the lowest, and now this is just the wick. This is probably from one exchange. Who knows? Maybe we did get down to whatever this price would have been if I would extend this trend line out. But these people that are calling out a sub 20 cent XRP, it's a scary prospect for me, because if that happens, that means that we essentially break a trend, break a bottom that we haven't broken ever. And okay, so I'm going to go from January 2017, 0.003 cents. Now we were at February, or, we could say March, probably better to do this on the daily. We were at like 0.004, right? Now we get into this year. Obviously, after this consolidation, etc., and my trend lines obviously aren't exactly hitting, but you get the gist, right? At the very bottom of the bear market, we were sitting right around 11 cents, I believe. So you got 11 cents there. Now you have 11 cents. You've got 19 cents. We want to see this not be broken, obviously, because imagine what happens if something that we haven't broken ever breaks to the downside. I mean, you're talking mass chaos there. I'm not really necessarily concerned with daily moves because, I mean, you look at this chart. I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to repeat itself, but what I would be concerned with, and I can, I guess, extend that out a tiny bit. What I would be concerned with is if this breaks, okay? Because historically, we haven't even really been close to this bottom trend line unless we're about to either be at the end of a consolidation period or about to, go up in price because we maintain that bottom trend line as support. I would be very, very concerned if this breaks. So now, just to give you a little bit of insight as to what my thinking is, even if we're in April of 2021 and we're sitting at 33 cents, I don't care. If we're sitting at 12 cents in, April of next year, I will certainly care. This ranges, you can do this very easily. Go on to TradingView, pull up XRP to USD. Poloniex is I believe, the oldest chart that they have on TradingView. It's a free account. You can basically judge the bottom. I try to just look at big trends because I'm not the smartest guy in the world when it comes to charting. I don't claim that I am, but I think that there's some simple things that you can see that align here. Interestingly enough as well, I don't even know if I want to get into this, but yeah, chart the bottoms out. I mean, like we could go down to 27 cents again next month in January, and I would not be concerned. We could go down to 32 cents in April of next year, and I wouldn't be concerned. You start talking like we're going to see like a 13 cent XRP and break a trend that we've never broken because we've hit this trend, which is crazy. You can see it right here. I'm sorry if I'm dragging on or rambling. I really don't care. Shoot, I'm going to lose it now. We hit this trend. And I have my trend lines drawn very shittily here. 1, 2, 3 times. And actually the third time that we hit it was us breaking the downtrend that we've been in since essentially January of 2018. So it didn't touch on the bottom trend line. It touched on the, and you could draw lines different ways. I don't really give a shit how you draw lines. I'm just saying, if you look at the bottom trend line and the base, our actual support, long-term support for 6 years for XRP or 5 years for XRP, breaking this support would be, I'm not talking about like a wick, I'm talking about like an actual like close, like a candle close below this support, would be one reason I would potentially, I did the fake video yesterday with me crying and shit. I would consider getting out a little bit, maybe selling a little bit if we had a candle close below this trend line, like substantially with volume and stuff like that, because we've never done it. So these people talking about like 12-cent XRP again, when? I don't see it happening. If that happens, we are in my opinion, bad shape. So I don't want to see that happen. I want to see us go up. If we touch base on this again, great. Now, historically, when we've entered a bull run after consolidation, you can see the last time we touched this trend line here, and our 21 week hit above our 50, compared to when we hit it again, we touched this trend line. I'm not even going to get this last one. I'll do when we touched at the base here. You know what? Let me do the trend line. We are talking legitimately 1,162 days. You can see us touch right here, right? And you can see us touch right here, right? 1,162 days. All right. Now, we just had our 21-week close above our 50, and obviously we had this parabolic rise. So we had this last little candle touch against the trend line as it broke previous resistance. I'm not talking about the bottom trend line. And we had a similar thing happen to XRP right here, right? So if I take the last one, damn it. If I take the last one, what did I say? 1,162 days. I don't want to personally see us touching this trend line again. Shit, this is like 2024. Now, I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. All I'm telling you guys is this. We've never broken through this thing, and that's what concerns me more than anything, okay? We break through that, it could be a little bit worrisome as far as where we go in price. I'm not saying that for fact. I'm just saying you look at the history, you look at the fractals and stuff like that. I try to keep it as simple as possible for myself. These could be massive buying opportunities too. Imagine if XRP crashed again to 29 cents, and we're sitting in March of 2021. The upside potential will be huge, assuming that we hold that as support, right? We start breaking down, getting into like the 22 cents by August or whatever, even lower. We've never done it before. You guys get the picture, right? I mean, God, this is not rocket science, okay? I hope this is a little bit helpful for you guys. You know, again, I'm not a technical analyst whatsoever, but you can sit there and you can try to chart out the bottom of these things. It is amazing how these support lines get hit, though. By these massive wicks at the end of a bear run, you know, and then even one last touch off before we start to rise. I mean, I'm starting to see a little bit of trends in this stuff. Maybe you haven't. I'm sure you guys that chart Bitcoin, there's even more data to chart for Bitcoin, so I'm sure you guys see this. Gonna try to do this with a little bit more assets here. And again, the Patreon stuff I will get back to here Monday once I have my dual screens up. But I wanted to say, do not participate ever in a scam like this. And be very cognizant of where you're at in this space. I'm all for lower XRP prices for me personally because I can buy more at a level that I can attain more XRP for my fiat. But, you know, we start going down into these levels that we've never touched and we're breaking this massive support. That could be very, very dangerous. So I want to continue to see an uptrend. I want to see higher lows and I want to see higher highs. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Saturday. And if there is news tomorrow, I will certainly present it later.